Hey guys, welcome back to a brand new Ninjago video here on the channel. My name is TannerFishies. In today's video, we are counting down Ninjago's top 10 saddest moments, according to my own opinion. Throughout the many years that Ninjago has been running, there have been several sad moments that have simply broken the hearts of many Ninjago fans. And these are my picks for Ninjago's saddest and most heartbreaking moments. So starting things off in the number 10 spot, we have the Lloyd and Garmadon reuniting scene from Ninjago Possession. This scene is pretty heartbreaking because this was the final farewell to Garmadon following his sacrifice in the prior season. This would also be the last time that Lloyd and his father would reunite in Garmadon's human form, and they have a pretty emotional send-off within the cursed realm itself. Garmadon ends up saying goodbye to Lloyd and giving him his kimono in the process, which Lloyd uses throughout the final battle with Moro. I thought the scene was really well done, and it shows just how great of a bond these two have. Unfortunately, the bond would not last when Garmadon came back in his next appearance. But still, the Lloyd and Garmadon reuniting scene has always been a favorite of mine, and it's a highlight from Ninjago Possession. Next up, we have Pixel's fate as revealed by Ninjago Season 4, The Tournament of Elements. The first couple of episodes of Season 4 gave us a really interesting take on Zane's character, and after finally freeing himself from captivity, he goes to free Pixel as well, only to find that she has been dismantled by Chen and Klaus. Pixel appears on a monitor to say goodbye to Zane one last time, and Zane clutches her hand, heartbroken. However, the scene itself does have a happy ending because Zane realizes that Pixel is USB compatible, and thus Pixel becomes a heads-up display for Zane for a large majority of the series to follow. But still, finding out that Pixel was dismantled must have been devastating to Zane. Fortunately, they found a solution pretty quickly. In the number 8 spot, we have Cole's flashbacks from Ninjago Season 13, Master of the Mountain. In this sequence, we see Cole fighting the Skull Sorcerer, and he remembers the words of his late mother, Lily. Lily and Cole clearly had an excellent connection when Lily was still alive, and Cole uses her wisdom and her words during this final battle against the Skull Sorcerer. The flashbacks are very heartfelt, and you feel for Cole, who misses his mother in this moment. However, he still recognizes that her teachings live on. In a way, this scene acted as a team-up between Lily and Cole from beyond Lily's grave, and thus this heartfelt scene takes the number 8 spot on our countdown. Next up on the countdown, we have the demise of Moro towards the ending of Ninjago Possession. Throughout the entirety of Season 5, Moro was treated as a very intimidating antagonist. He split the ninja apart, and his actions greatly affected the course of Ninjago moving forward. However, his final few moments were filled with redemption. He ends up having one final moment with his former master Wu before being killed in the water by the Preeminent. He provides some choice words to Wu, who remembers that Moro isn't all bad. He's just in a bad situation, and in a way he's kind of misunderstood. Moro dies, giving the realm crystal back to Master Wu, a student bidding farewell to his master before passing away. The scene showed that Moro's character was a lot more than meets the eye and explored Moro and Wu's connections with each other. In the number 6 spot, we have Cole's fall from Ninjago March of the Oni. This scene was advertised all over the trailers as being the scene that would change the entirety of Ninjago moving forward. Cole falling off the bounty into the Oni abyss was a tragic moment. Unfortunately, it didn't really stick any lasting consequences. However, the scene itself is very heartbreaking as the ninja witness one of their own fall into darkness, and there's nothing that they can do to stop that. Kai's emotions here hit me the hardest. As Zane tries to take the logical approach to the situation, Kai just wants to save his friend. All of the ninja come to terms with the situation, opting to save the people on the bounty instead of rescuing Cole. The scene shows that even the ninja have to make hard emotional decisions sometimes, and I think a lot of Ninjago fans can relate. The music in the scene is also quite devastating, and the entire sequence was easily a highlight of Season 10 for me. Moving on to the top 5, we have Nia's death from Ninjago Skybound. This scene itself was actually really tragic. Even though these events were erased pretty much immediately afterwards, we had to see Nia die in Jay's arms. Before Jay makes his final wish, Nauticon is struck with the Tiger Widow venom, and some of it ends up getting on Nia. The venom being fatal to humans causes Nia to literally die in Jay's arms, like I said, and Jay has to watch the love of his life pass away before him. Not only that, but the rest of the ninja have to watch a teammate of theirs die, and this is especially hard on Kai, who has to see his last remaining family member pass away as well. The emotions were running high in this scene as Nia says goodbye to Jay, a devastating sequence that caused Ninjago fans, including myself, to bawl uncontrollably. Fortunately, like I said, the death did not last for very long, but when it hit hard. Therefore, Nia's death takes the number 5 spot on this list. Similarly, in the number 4 spot, we have Nia's sacrifice from Ninjago Seabound. This was easily the highlight of Seabound for a lot of Ninjago fans, as it features Nia making the ultimate sacrifice, merging her body with the Endless Sea in order to defeat Wajira. After the battle is over and after Wajira was obliterated, Nia says goodbye to her teammates and says goodbye to Jay once again. Jay is desperate in this scene, trying to get Nia to stay behind and be with him, but Nia hears the ocean calling and disregards what he says. Nia was something entirely separate here. She was not herself anymore and ventured onwards to parts unknown, leaving the ninja team and the audience frankly heartbroken. They hold a funeral service for Nia afterwards, with all of their allies showing up to pay respects, making the entirety of Seabound's conclusion one to remember for its tragedy. In the number 3 spot, we have Garmadon's sacrifice from Ninjago Season 4, The Tournament of Elements. Not only did did Garmadon choose to sacrifice himself in this moment, there was also emotion to be found in Garmadon's son, Lloyd. Realizing that his father was ready to sacrifice himself to save Ninjago from Chen's Anacondrae, Lloyd rejected the idea, treating Ninjago fans to many emotional flashbacks featuring the pair as father and son. Even when they were on separate sides, they were still connected, and Lloyd does not want to lose his father. Eventually, he comes to terms with it and sends off Garmadon himself, Garmadon bidding farewell to his son, his brother, and his former love. After Garmadon's sacrifice, the entirety of Ninjago was saved, and they held a little memorial service for Garmadon in the Corridor of Elders. Lloyd bids farewell to his father in a pretty dramatic and emotional way, and the entire sequence sends off one of Ninjago's strongest characters. His permanent send-off would not come until Possession, but for all intents and purposes, this was the end of Garmadon's character, until of course being brought back in later seasons as something entirely different. Garmadon's sacrifice stands out to me as something emotionally special, and it's easily one of the highlights of Season 4 for me. In the number 2 spot, we have Zane's origin coming at us from Ninjago Season 1. Back when I was watching Ninjago's earliest seasons, this episode caught me entirely off guard. Not only was Zane revealed to be a Nindroid in this episode, but also his entire origin story was unveiled as well, showing his creation, his humble beginnings as a child, and his eventual growth to humanity thanks to his creator, Dr. Julian. His upbringing was filled entirely with love, which made it all the more heartbreaking when Dr. Julian passed away. Not only that, but Zane's memory switch was also turned off during this entire sequence, therefore he had no memory of his father nor his previous life. Zane cries tears of sadness for his late father during this scene, and the entire sequence again caught me off guard the first time I watched it. This was the indicator that Ninjago could be more than just a mindless commercial for toys. Instead, Ninjago could be a series based on emotion and respect and faith and memories. Zane's origin story was one of the first heartbreaking scenes in Ninjago, and it still stands out to me to this day as something special and something worth cherishing and remembering. And finally, in the number 1 spot, we have Zane's sacrifice from Ninjago Season 3 Rebooted. I'm sure a lot of you guys saw this coming, but this sequence is still one of Ninjago's most heartbreaking moments, at least according to my own opinion. We see Zane in this moment sacrificing his identity and his life in order to defeat the Overlord and save Ninjago. Not only are we treated to an excellent and memorable track showing how tragic this scene is, we also see many flashbacks of Zane's happiest moments with his friends and his family. We see his origins, his earliest days on the ninja team, and many highlights throughout his adventures. Ultimately, Zane succumbs to his own destiny, having been created to protect those who cannot protect themselves. Vowing by the words of his father, Zane sacrifices himself throughout all of Ninjago, and a memorial service is held for Zane afterwards. Kai delivers an excellent speech saying goodbye to his old friend, and the season ends with a reveal that Zane is still alive, much to the happiness of Pixel and many Ninjago fans who were watching. I remember simply bawling my eyes out following Zane's sacrifice, and even to this day, whenever I watch this scene, it still makes me tear up. I've seen this episode countless times, but it still hits me as hard as it did the first time. Zane is truly one of Ninjago's best written characters, and this sequence proves that entirely. And with that being said, guys, that'll pretty much wrap it up for my opinions on Ninjago's top 10 saddest moments. There are several sad moments across all of Ninjago, even more so than what I presented in this list. So feel free to leave a comment down below discussing what you think is Ninjago's saddest moment, or if you want to present your own top 10 list down below, feel free to do that as well. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video. I do plan on making many more top 10 lists in the future, so stay tuned for those. And in the meantime, hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. Thanks a lot for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe, do all that fun stuff, and I will talk to you guys again really soon. Peace.